Today in our notes we're going to be practicing conjugating verbs. The first verb that we're going to conjugate is the verb querer. At the top of my page, I'm going to write verb tables for 3 verbs. 1, 2, 3. We're going to conjugate 3 verbs today. The first is querer, which means to want. The next verb is ir. What does ir mean, everybody?
To go.
To go. But we're going to add the a, which means going to. Remember, when we have ir, it means to go, but when we have ir a, it means to go to. So when we conjugate that, we'll see that with the practice. Then we're going to do the verb gustar. Now, you know that me gusta means what? I like. So what do you think the verb gustar means? To like. Let's start with what we already know. With the verb ir, what goes in the first spot? Voy. So voy means I go. Voy a means I'm going to. What goes next? Vas a. Voy, vas, va. Voy, vas, va. Vamos a. And then van. Then, in looking at the verb querer, to want, this is also a boot verb. It's a stem changing verb. Go ahead and draw in that boot to remind you of where your stem changes. What was the other verb that we just learned that's a boot verb? Jugar. Jugar. So here, in jugar, it's J-U-G-A-R. It changes from U to U-E. And querer changes the same way. It changes from U to I-E. It changes, that first letter changes, but instead of U-E, it changes to I-E. Circle the ending, write your stem. My stem here is, what's my first letter, everybody?
Q.
Then?
I. Q. I.
We need some editing.
Oh goodness, I wrote it wrong. It's not the E, it's not the U that changes, it's the E. Because you do need that U. Q-U I-E-R-O. Quiero. Quiero. ¿Quieres? ¿Quiere? I remember when I was in school, I don't know if it's still the slogan, but the Taco Bell slogan, Quiero Taco Bell. Is that still a thing?
No.
Okay, well, it used to be a thing. I guess it's not a thing anymore because nobody wants Taco Bell, but quiero means I want. Quiero, quieres, quiere. Then Q-U-E-R-E-M-O-S. Because here we don't have that stem change from E to I-E. Queremos. Then quieren. With the verb gustar, we're going to be doing this extra part. Now, the thing that changes, gustar is a really different verb because the verb gustar means pleasing to. So to say the things that you like, guys, how do you say I like? Me. Okay? And do you know how to say you like?
Two.
Really close, not two. It's gonna be te. Me, te, le, nos, les. That's a review of what we did quite a while back. But with the verb gustar, you're either gonna say gusta or gustan. You're gonna use gusta or gustan depending on if you're liking a thing or a plural thing. If you're liking a verb, it's gonna be me gusta. Like me gusta nadar is I like to swim. Because really what you're doing is, gustar means pleasing. So if you're saying me gusta, you're saying it is pleasing to me. Or me gustan, they are pleasing to me. You're not conjugating the verb gustar. You're just changing this first part. We're gonna do some different practices using these different pieces. So I want you to practice using different verbs, conjugating those different verbs in different ways. So the first thing that I want you to do is let's look at the verb nadar. Clase, what does nadar mean? To swim. Now, all of our examples right here, we're going to use the verb nadar and we're going to use all in the I tense. So put an I here and kind of circle it to remind you that you're talking all about yourself right now. If you wanted to say, I want to swim. I'm going to swim. I like to swim. And I swim. We have I want to, I'm going to, I like to, and I do it. You're going to follow this exact same pattern using different verbs in different forms. So next you're going to do the verb bailar. What does bailar mean? To dance. And you're going to do this with you. You want to dance, you're going to dance, you like to dance, you dance. Okay, I did this with more verbs and more tenses. Go ahead and pause the video here until you have all of this written down. Next, I'm going to practice the verb nadar with all of you. So how do we say I want?
Quiero.
Quiero. I'm looking up at this verb querer, and to say I want, we say quiero. Leave a nice little space here. Draw a line if you need to, but you don't want it all crammed together. You want to be able to read what you wrote. Quiero. I want. And how do I say to swim? Nadar.
Nadar.
Everything that you need to be able to answer these pieces Everything that you need to be able to answer these pieces is right here on your page. Quiero nadar. Quiero. And then we know that nadar is to swim. So how do we say I'm going to swim?
Yeah, just hit me with it right.
Voy a nadar. I like to swim. Me gusta. Nadar. Notice that all of these are to swim, to swim, to swim. And then when we go to this one here, we're actually conjugating the verb nadar. So how do you say I swim? Nado. So here's my ending, here's my stem, and then the ending for I do it is that O. So nado is I swim. I really didn't have to write the I swim there again. I kind of just did without thinking about it. You're going to continue this pattern with each of these down here. Take your time, work with a partner, use your notes, do your best. Buena suerte.